in those rules. And he says there that none among us accepts that Sri Ramakrishna has told them to do puja to himself. But puja, etc., we have imagined for his honor. He says, what he taught us is japa, dhyana, and other higher practices. So japa and dhyana has been, you see, the main instrument of spiritual progress. And so this is also in our order, it is like that. The Holy Mother used to say that people talk about mental agony, let them do 10,000 times japa each day. You see, that was the minimum, you see. So 10,000. And once I asked a Swami, who was a disciple of Swami Brahmananda, about what his guru has told him. He said that, my guru told me you need not do much, you just do 10,000 japas each day. And he was very old then, and he was lying on the bed. He said that now he's in the sitting position, doing 10,000 japas is difficult for me, so I am lying down and finishing my japa. Yes. So there are people who, of course, they do more, so like Swami Vishuddhananda, who was a great japaka and a man of meditation, a child of the Holy Mother, and he became a president of the order, Swami Vishuddhananda. He passed most of his life in sadhana, in your Morabadi, outskirts of Ranchi. So, you see, I have not seen Vishuddhanandaji. I could have seen him, but I lived in the puja room used by him. When I was living in Morabadi Ashram, my residence was there because a new temple was constructed and his puja room was used as a place of residence. So I used to live there, and one could feel the presence of a, especially also I used to go to the Morabadi hill on the opposite side of the ashram in those days. The ashram was very small in those days. It was not a very big ashram as in the present case, and a very important, it has become an important mission center even, with tremendous work for the tribals. But when I was there, it was a small ashram, just in the model, ancient model. And he often used to go to this Moravati hill to the opposite of the ashram, and there's a cave where he used to meditate. I also visited many times that cave, where he used to meditate. You see, there is still a vibration. So when a great person does japa and meditation, there is a vibration. It remains for a time. Yes. I was in relief in Bihar, it was in the border of Palamur district and Hazaribagh district. And in a dense forest, I used to live inside the forest. You see, there was a building inside the forest, a very building, you see, in very bad condition. The roof was leaking, etc. So I was living there, and after some time, you see, there was a big flood. I was doing drought relief. There was a big flood, a single-day flood, and it washed away 18 bridges between where I was living and the main road. You see, the old Grand Trunk Road. So I abandoned this your place and went to, you see, live by the side of that road, so that I can get supplies very easily. Supplies is to come from Gaya. And each morning I used to cross the road and enter into a forest. It is a wonderful forest. I have never seen the like of this anywhere in the world. It is only Shefalika trees. The whole forest is of Shefalika trees. So beautiful smell. You see, the Shefalika gives a good smell. You see. And there was this river, small river, going by the side, the Buddha's river, Nairanjana. They call it Ilajan River. That is there, the small river, and a hill. So when I used to go to the forest, one side is the hill, then the forest. Then you see, if you come out of the forest, it is my camp, a relief camp where I will stay. So each day, each morning, I used to enter into the forest and do meditation, you see. And I used to have wonderful meditation. And I wondered that I have just joined the order. How is it that each morning I have such good meditation there? Then the idea struck me, this place must have special vibration. And I discovered soon that the place is only your aerial distance 9 miles from Bodh Gaya. You see, I understood that in ancient days, many, you see, Buddhist monks used to meditate here in this forest, you see. So across centuries, you see, this vibration remains. Spirituality is such a thing. It is across centuries that this vibration was remaining. You see. So that is one thing, I say, about spiritual practice. When you do it, it remains. You see, if you do it sincerely. That's why we visit places of pilgrimage. Because in the places of pilgrimage, you see, great souls have done enough of tapas. So that you see, you will go with a pure mind, receptive mind, then you can feel it. You see, in all big places of pilgrimage. Nowadays, it is being a little diluted because of the presence of ordinary visitors who go for sightseeing, for, I say, shooting pictures. They are not in that mood, receptive mood. So this japa and meditation, and Swami Mahapurush Maharaj used to tell, especially monks, that when in the middle of the night you wake up, you do spiritual practice. It is very powerful then, because what happens, because you have slept, so your body is not tired, you are away from mundane activities for a few hours, so your mind is not entangled with many things. So then your distraction is much less and your concentration is deeper. So that's why they used to practice, Swami used to advise. This was especially Mahapurush Maharaj was telling almost everyone who wanted his special guidance, that do it in the middle of the night, you see, when you wake up. Special souls like Swami Vigananda, they used to meditate almost the whole night. At the end of the night, at 4, they used to go to bed. Almost the whole night, they used to be in japa and meditation. So these are very special souls, you say. Then the Holy Mother, as I told you, she used to give much importance on japa. She used to say that through japa, you can, there will be no, you see, mental agony, at least. If you do much japa. Because the mind remains on another plane. Agony is through imagination. See, your mind is creating. Much of the suffering which we suffer is created by the mind. There are some sufferings maybe due to your infirmities of the body, but much of the suffering is due to your mind, your imagination. You are thinking what people will think about you. Say these, that, etc., etc. It is, all these things are imagined by your mind and you suffer. So, and then, of course, there are other questions like jealousy, like malice, etc., which is also the creation of the mind, you see. So the mind does not get any opportunity to go to these tracks if you are full of japa. That is one thing. And japa, when it becomes deeper, it takes the color of meditation. Because japa, you are thinking of your Ishta and doing japa, the thinking becomes deeper and deeper, and it takes the form of meditation itself very naturally. So, meditation, it slips into meditation. Japa slips into meditation. So, and so that is a higher thing. There is a shloka in Kularnava Tantra. Uttamo Brahma Sadhava Madhyama Dhyana Dharana Stotra Japo Adhomo Bhava Murti Puja Dhama Dhama. That means the highest spiritual, your manifestation of the highest spirituality is that you are always thinking that everything is Brahman. People like Ramana Maharshi, people like Swami Vivekananda, they were in that mood always. You see, this idea would never, it would not come to them occasionally only. You see, this idea is to be constantly with them. Uttama Brahma Sadbhava. And the next step is that one cannot have this, but one is meditative. You see, that is the next step. Madhyama Dhyana Dharana. Dhyana Dharana, you see. Patanjali says that the first level of concentration, and that is dharana. When a dharana gets ripened, it becomes dhyana. You see. So one of the commentators, later commentators on Patanjali, he says that if you take it in as a modern calculation, so thinking about a single object for 12 seconds will constitute dharana. Dharana means you are holding. The mind is holding that object as if in the mind. Dharana. And 12 times that means almost 2.5 minutes. That is your, if you can think of a particular object intensely, and that object alone, then it becomes dhyana. 12 times that, it goes into samadhi. Then in half an hour, if you have meditating on a single subject, you have samadhi. The outer outer characteristics is that you forget your body consciousness, your environment, and there is unition between Gyan, Gyo, Jnata. You see, this, you are not, if you are thinking about a cow, for example, you see, then if you are tremendously concentrated, then you are so much absorbed in it that you will not think that it is a separate object. It is totally the object has mingled with the subject almost. You see. So that stage is samadhi. Of course, there are higher and higher degrees of samadhi. So this is another thing. Yes, this is another thing. So, but these are related things. Because meditation is a general word. Meditation is means all these things, different levels, you see. Buddhists say that there are 9 samapattis, that is their language, levels, you see. 9 samapattis, and Buddha achieved the 9th samapatti. Yeah. Whereas his guru, Buddha had 4 gurus. The greatest guru was Alar Kalam. And they say that Alar Kalam was a great yogi and he achieved the 7th samapatti. So there are levels, naturally. There are different levels of. Swami Vivekananda was so meditative that witnesses say that within 10 minutes of sitting for meditation, he used to be lost to the world. Always. Once it happened in Marika, they were in a lonely place by the side of a sea. Just Swamiji, MacLeod's sister, and MacLeod's would-be husband. These were the people living there. One morning, Swamiji came out of his room with the Bhagavad Gita in his hand. And he said that I am going there under the tree and prepare a nice breakfast, you see. And when it is ready, please inform me. So went there. So half an hour later, you see, Miss MacLeod went to inform Swamiji that breakfast was ready. But he found that Swamiji was in deep meditation, and so he called, he did not answer, so he thought that Swamiji had passed away. So he came back to announce it, that Swamiji has passed away. Sorry, we are sorry to say. He had passed away. He is in the forest. He has passed away. So they went to see, and Mr. Leggett, and would-be husband of MacLeod's sister, he observed Swamiji closely. He said, no, he's not dead. He's in a trance, so I shall shake him, you see, out of this condition. So then MacLeod said that never do it. Swamiji told me that when he was in meditation, he should not be disturbed. So they waited and waited. After 20 minutes, gradually Swamiji showed signs of coming back. And he looked at them, he understood. He said, sorry, you say, let us go for breakfast. See. So you say, so he was like this, you see, and left alone. That was his inner nature, meditative. Sri Ramakrishna even prayed to the mother You see in Kathamrita, he prayed to the mother, Mother, bind him with a little of your Maya. Otherwise, his body will fall through Samadhi. That is what your Swamiji style was there. It is. Now, the other disciples, you see, for example, the other great disciples, for example, Baburam Maharaj, was, you see, spiritually very elevated, though outwardly extremely active, managing Belur Math affairs, but he was a very elevated soul, so much so that he used to feel the presence of Sri Ramakrishna everywhere in the Math. So whenever he used to go to a distant place, etc., he used to go to the shrine and declare to Sri Ramakrishna that I am going to such and such place, etc. Once it happened that he was scheduled to go to a far-off place in Eastern Bengal. And he agreed to go. So devotees were waiting. He said that, let me go to the shrine. And so he went to the shrine, you know, the old shrine in Belur Math. So he went to this old shrine. That was the only shrine in those days. And entered the chapel and told Sri Ramakrishna that I am going now to this place. Sri Ramakrishna asked him not to go. So a brahmachari was there working. He asked him, he heard that he was talking with Ramakrishna. then I should not go. Okay, I should not go. So he came down the stairs and declared to the I shall not go. So the devotees were upset. They had prepared everything in his Bengal. He had agreed. Now, just before leaving, he is saying that I shall not go. So they say, they asked him that you said that you would go. Now you're not saying that you would not go. How is it? They said that, is it possible that everything happens to our will? You say, to whose will then? He said, it is God's will. So how do you know God's will? They asked. You say, so he replied that, let us go to the Holy Mother. Whatever he says is God's will. So they went to the Holy Mother, and I say, Swami himself explained that this is the proposal of devotees. Holy Mother said that you were sick a few weeks ago. You see, should you go such a big distance, etc.? Then they said that, okay, they went, Baburam Maharaj was below, the devotees again went to the Holy Mother, explained to her, and then Holy Mother agreed that, okay, if you take care of him, etc., he may go, you see, and call Baburam again. So Baburam was called again, and he said that Baburam, they're saying that they'll take care of you, so you might go. So he went, you say. And it happened so that the next day they heard that you see, they're scheduled to go, and ultimately at the junction of Padma and Yamuna, you see, there is a place called Gwaland where the river becomes 27 miles across. So the boat capsized there. There was a storm, boat capsized, everyone died. You see. So next day, you see, he went there. So the idea is that these people were moving at the dictation of God. Okay. Everything in the mott, everything in the mott, he used to, one day he saw, you see, in that old shrine, at the southern side, there is a small veranda, and there was water in that veranda. He rebuked the brahmachari, why have you kept water here? I see Sri Ramakrishna often walking here in the veranda. Everywhere in the fields, you see, is to go, ask them to do correctly, weeding. One brahmachari was not weeding properly. He was tearing the weeds. So he said, you have to take out the roots. You say, as in the case of your desire, you have to take out root and all from your mind. So here also you should do it like that. You say. Another day, Senior Swami, who later on became a vice president, he was then a young monk. So a good quality mango has come, you see to Belur Mott, and the mangoes were being served. But the younger monk was sitting behind during the seat for lunch, the seat, squat. So, and it was coming down, whether it will trickle down to his plate, he was worried. So suddenly he said that I want a mango. This came out from his mouth. Baburam heard it. Immediately he went inside. On a plate, he caught a good quantity of mango and brought before him. Take. So he was very ashamed that Swami has brought so many mangoes for him. He said that you had some desire, finish it. This is a small desire, finish it through consuming mangoes. You need not keep it in your mind. Otherwise, you cannot do spiritual practice correctly. So that was your the thing. I have seen the Swami. He was the vice president. Swami Nirvananda Swami. He prepared small mosquito curtains, miniature, so that Belur Math is full of mosquitoes. I say, I think a little less nowadays maybe. Yeah. So full of mosquitoes. So that sadhus who want to do japa in the room where relics of Sri Ramakrishna have been kept in Belur Math. There, you see, they've sprayed these mosquito nets and they can do japa. Because there are so many mosquitoes that it is difficult to do anything. Vivekananda, etc., used to meditate in spite of these mosquitoes. That is the great Swamis. I have seen, you see, from Swami Madhavananda onwards, the other Swamis, you see, Madhavananda ji, after him, Gambhirananda ji, after Gambhirananda ji, Bhuteshananda ji, then after Madhavananda was Vireshananda ji, then Gambhirananda ji, then your Bhuteshananda ji. All of them are very great souls in their own way. You see, I used to closely observe them and their qualities. Swami Vireshananda was doing japa all the time and mentally saluting all the monks and brahmacharis as a representation of Sri Ramakrishna. They were bowing down to him and he was mentally saluting them as each one as a representation of Sri Ramakrishna. And that I have seen, and he had a great heart for the downtrodden people. Again and again he used to tell us that, you say, turn your attention to the downtrodden. Then his life was an example of frugality. He used to live very simple, even as president. And he had a great heart for the sadhus. To each, Belur Math in those days was poor. To each old sadhu, he used to send something every day. You say, some biscuits, some Horlicks, etc. He used to send to his seva these things to old sadhus. He used to name that, please give this to this. He used to know all the sadhus. And I used to see that if everyone, when there was a death, even at untimely hours, he was the first man to arrive. With his stick, etc., he used to come there. He was the first man to arrive there. So this was Swami. I have seen him, and then I have seen his next year, Gambhirananda ji. As president, I did not see him much, except for when I was coming to Europe. I met him. He was the president. I met him in Delhi. But when he was general secretary for many, many years, I used to be a worker at Belur Math. So I used to observe him, how he used to work. I used to find him, he used to often do a little, walking to and fro on the first floor veranda in front of his room. And again, go back to his room. That means you see, when he has solved a problem. You see, there used to be many letters on his table. He used not to read the whole thing. He used to read a little, and the subject is what, you see, if it is a law, he used to write the name of the Swami who is dealing with this, you see. That the Swami should read it, come back to him, and discuss with him. That is the idea. So like that, he used to dispose of all the letters soon. You see, he is not to read the whole letter, little, and he is to send it. And then, you see, each problem, he was the general secretary, he has to tackle all the problems. Each problem he used to think about it, and the thinking was the walking. Walking means he's thinking about a problem. I say, whenever is to come to the room, and then I say, once it happened that in the course of a meeting, trustee meeting, I was called there, someone there. When there, he asked me, where is that plan? I said, that plan, I have given it to you. Then I added, it may be on your table. He smiled. On my table, you go to my table to see. I saw the table was clean, nothing. So then I began to observe him. How does he dispose of these letters? I said, this was his technique. Very methodical, very etc. I say. And of course, he is not to like to, to take pranams from the devotees much, and talk with them, especially when he was the general secretary. He used to keep his room half shut. If someone used to dare open it, he could come and touch his feet and etc. Otherwise, it is remain half shut. He is not to like very much this. You see, much time he used to devote to writing books. See, the whole time he has written so many books, very foundational books for the order. You see, some are translations of Upanishads, some are collections of hymns. There are biographies of in Bengali of Swami Vivekananda. All these things. That was his last, I think, when he was president, he did the Brahma Sutras. So you say, the whole life he was, in spite of his heavy administrative responsibility, he wrote so many books because he is not too very punctual, very punctual. They say, just 2 minutes before the ringing of the bell, he used to come near the dining hall. He used to walk there. They say, when the bell, immediately he would proceed to the room for taking food. He was so punctual. He'd stop trustee meetings. Said, now it is the time for food. They say, we shall meet later. So he was that, you see, punctuality. And another thing was that very frugal life. You see, once I remember it was winter, and he was coming out of Swami Birashananda's room. He was the general secretary, Birashanandaji president. He was coming out of his room, and he saw Pramayananda, who was sevak to Birashanandaji, and asked, Ram Gopal, you are putting on a banyan. How much does it cost? It was a thick banyan, especially meant for winter. Ramgopal Maharaj said that I do not know, but it will not be less than 6 rupees. I am talking about the 70s of last century. Then I heard him mutter, 6 rupees, it is too much. That means he would like to have a banyan like this, but he would not buy with 6 rupees. So they lived such a frugal life, you see. And that was Swami Gambhiranandaji. All of them, you see, their lives, Bhuteshanandaji was scholarship and egolessness personified. He was a profound scholar and totally egoless and very jovial. You see, he used to talk with monks, entertain their questions, and was always in a good mood. I had never seen him becoming angry, so I asked once his sevaka, have you seen any time Swami becoming angry? He said once he became angry with me. I said, what happened? He said he was going to somewhere. I was following him and I discovered that I have forgotten his chadar. You see. So he scolded me. You see. That is the only time I saw him becoming angry. I never saw him becoming angry. You see. So he was a great sadhu and he made an impact on all the sadhus he met with, and a great teacher also, with profoundness of scholarship in the scriptures. After him came Swami Ranganathananda. Ranganathananda, you see, Ramanathananda was a great scholar, a great speaker, and it was one of his lectures which, you say, I had tremendous doubt about the existence of personal God. You see, it was one of his lectures which elicited in me the faith in God. It was the lecture on Svabhavastu Pravartate, which is in the Gita. So, Svabhavastu Pravartate, and he used to, you see, whenever he used to find an interesting thing about anything, say, so in newspaper, he used to cut it and send me clips. Ranganathanji. So that was it. And in his books, you see the vastness of his learning, his grasp on certain things of biological science, and his way of your presenting them was also very unique. I say, calling so many ideas, so many things. I say, this requires reading and your reflection, which is a part of spiritual practice. Everyone should do it, reading with reflection. So that is it. You say, I have to say now we are approaching the time of Arati. Yeah. Om Shri Ramakrishna Arpanamastu.